Hi everybody and welcome back to Smart Home Improvement People today. So today what I thought I'd do is have a look at who are the best double glazing installers up and down the country. Okay, so what I thought I'd do is take a look at Trustpilot and take a look at reviews and see who are actually getting the best results and scores at the end of the day. Because one of the things I've learned over about the last 15 to 20 years, because I've worked in the double glazing industry for worked in the home improvement industry for about 20 years. And a lot of that time I've spent on the doors because that's what I always enjoyed. I enjoyed getting out there, listening to people, talking to people and see what people want and what their views are. And one of the things that I always learned was there are a lot of people say, oh, I'd only get my windows done by Anglian, or I'd only get them done by Safestyle, or I only get them done by Everest, or whoever. Okay. But that doesn't mean that they're the best installers. Because at the end of the day, you know, it's like I remember, this is a true story. I remember working for Apple Home Improvements, and me and a friend of mine, my sister's ex-boyfriend from years ago, we were knocking doors in Paulsgrove and Portsmouth. And my friend said to me, because he used to work for Safestyle, I said, because we would jump across, we'd stay on the same side of the road in alternate house. And we came up to this one house, he was due to knock it. And he said, Kevin, can you do me a favour? I said, yeah, sure, what? He said, I don't want to knock that house. I said, why not? And he said, well, the thing was, many years ago, and this is probably about 15 years ago, he said, when I was working for Safestyle, I knocked on that door and I sold them a whole house of windows and doors, front and back. And he said, yeah, okay. And Safestyle came out to install it. Now, don't take this as a usual thing for Safestyle. This is just what he said to me. I don't know how much truth's in there. And he said the windows were undersized. So later on in the day, when they had a barbecue, all the smoke filled up inside. And the irony was, they phoned up Safestyle. Safestyle came and refitted them and got them done properly. And if I remember rightly, they got a free French door as well. I'm pretty sure that's what he said. You know, so you hear funny things like this, and it's not the only case I've heard of things like that. So what I thought I'd do today is actually take a look and on Trustpilot, okay, and see who have the best scores. You know, because if you go by that, you automatically think, well, must be the likes of Safestyle and Anglian and Everest. These are the ones that must have the best scores. The irony is they don't. You know, I think First Home Improvements, which is one of the bigger ones as well, they have a decent score. Anglian certainly don't have a very good score, to be honest. So I thought I'd take a look at these scores. So I'm going to go from top to bottom. So all of these, I think it's a top 9. You know, normally I do a top 10, but I think it's a top 9. So all of these have a score of 4.9. Okay, none of them have any worse than that. And obviously with Trustpilot, the highest you can get is a 5 at the end of the day. So at number 1, okay, so we'll put these all at joint 1. Okay, is CR Smith Windows, Doors and Living Spaces. Now this company is up in Dunfermline. Okay, they have 5,526 reviews. Okay, you know, if you take a look at the most recent, what's the date today? 17th of October. Okay, you've got an Annie Bakey. I do apologise if I pronounced her name wrong. So brilliant service from the salesperson to the person who measured up to the exceptional Wayne and Matthew are installers. We could not have asked for more. Okay, and there's a couple on the 9th of October. You've got another one as well, saying company completely professional from start to finish, great customer care and very good at keeping you updated regarding the installation, etc. Friendly, polite and extremely hard working joinery team. So what more can you say? So next we have DW Windows Limited. Okay, we're going to leave Scotland. So this company are in the West Midlands in Wolverhampton. Okay, they have 1,358 reviews. Christ, I'm not going through all these. I only do a couple. So I'll do the most recent. So we've got 2 from the 7th of October, which would be last week. And we've got a Mr. Paul, who says, from phone and DW, phone contact was great. Rachel, who came out to us, was great and very informative. Surveyor was informative as well. The fitter that came up was very professional and friendly. And then the next one, same day, it just says HD as the name. Amazing service from quote to completion. I have a small sized door, guiding me through the best options. Amazing service, fantastic help from all the people involved in my journey. Can't complain at that. So next we go back to Scotland again. I'm going to pronounce the name wrong. I can see this. So we've got SRJ Windows Scotland. They have 1,205 reviews. So it's going to go down because we're going further down the list in the 4.9s on how many reviews they have. Okay. I do apologise if I pronounce this wrong. Is it Rosyth or Rosyth? Okay, in Scotland. Okay, the most recent one was the 9th of October. Okay, where it's a Carolyn. It says, I'm extremely happy with my SRJ composite front door as it looks stunning. The range of colours available was unique, as most are just standard colours, so I got my favourite colour. Well, that's the thing with composite doors. You can get them done in just about any colour you like. But if you go to certain companies, okay, they're just going to do the basic ones. But most companies, okay, especially if you're going to be paying a little bit of money, if you went, I'm trying to think of some of the companies where you just go online, build your own door, and you're going to get like red, blue, black, green, that kind of stuff. If you want it in pink, they're not going to have pink on the list. They're just not going to, because they're not going to be the type of colours. But if you're getting somebody coming out to see you, okay, you can go down the route of bespoke, okay, and you're going to be able to get pink at the end of that. It can be made up at the end of the day. You may have to pay a little bit extra money, but it can be done. So good on you, Caroline, at the end of the day. So next we have Seal Light Group in Bristol. They have 318 reviews. Most recent, 9th of October again, and Matt Hawkins. From our first inquiry to having the front, well, they put front and door, and bifolds installed. Neil and the team at Seal Light have been great. I will be returning for some work to be completed. Would thoroughly recommend. Okay, next we have, going back to Scotland. Is Perth in Scotland? I'm pretty sure Perth is in Scotland. Bauhausy Glazing, 285 reviews. Most recent 7th of October. My wife and I visited the showroom in Perth with the intention of purchasing new doors, which we did. These were delivered and fitted within a few weeks, and we are very pleased with the professionals. The thing you've got to remember, it is normally a few weeks. You're not generally going to get a door installed that day, unless they've got an old one where it's a mismeasure, basically, where they've gone out, measured it up, messed it up, and they're just going to keep it in stock in case somebody decides to get it instead. As a general rule, you are normally looking at around about 6 weeks. Okay, so next we have Ipswich trade frames. Yes, we're back in in England. So down in Ipswich, 253 reviews. They haven't got anything recently, so the most recent ones were back in June. Okay, but they're at 4.9 as well. Then we have Crown Conservatory's windows and doors in Milton Keynes, which isn't that far away from me, even though I'm on the south coast. You know, Milton Keynes isn't that far away. 216 reviews. Their most recent ones is on the 9th of October. We got an Errol, had some windows and doors fitted from start to finish. The correspondence was excellent, and I felt well informed and confident throughout the entire process. So, yet again, another happy customer. Then we're going down to, and we ain't got many left. We've only got 4 left. We've got Double Glazing, yet again in Milton Keynes. So we've got another Milton Keynes company. This was 7 days ago. So what did I say the date was today? So you're looking at the 10th or 11th. Very happy with the bifold door by Joanne, not my wife. With the bifold door results, great fit and crew today. Delivery by John was neat and tidy too. Tom and Shane were polite, tidy, and checked in with us about several details about the installation. So, yet again, you can't complain. Now, we've got a few more. I'm not going to go through all these because I ain't got all day. Okay. Yet again, you got Albion Windows and Conservatories. Now, they're based in Croydon in West Sussex. Then you got Rowan Developments in Stoke-on-Trent. They're at 4.9 as well. And you got Admiral Home Improvements, another company, but yet again in Ipswich. So you've got a couple companies in Ipswich. So you've got companies scattered all over the place. Now, the thing is, Trustpilot can be a good thing to measure companies by. Now, my only problem is that, especially in the UK, as a general rule of thumb, people don't generally put reviews up unless they've got something to moan about. Sometimes people will put reviews up if they're happy. But as a general rule, they don't. People fundamentally don't. You know, I can take a look, you know, over the last couple of years, I've had, well, I would say it's hundreds. It's not even going to be in the hundreds. It's going to be in the thousands of customers that have come through to us at Smart Home Improvement people. Okay. People don't put reviews up, you know, but this is a good guide to see how companies are doing. And another guide would be to go and look on their Facebook pages. And also another good one would be to go and have a look on their Google My Business page as well. Because if they all measure up and tally up and you're getting the same kind of review, you've got a good idea that potentially if they got a really high rating, you're going to get a good product at the end of the day. You're going to get good customer service, and you know exactly what you're going to be getting at the end of the day. But I wouldn't always guarantee that's going to happen, because some companies may prefer to use Trustpilot and not really want to bother with Google My Business, or they might not want to bother with Facebook, but I'd always still go and check them. So I hope that helps everybody out. You know, these are the top 9 double glazing installers in the UK according to Trustpilot. I've only looked at Trustpilot, but these are the top 9 companies. So I hope that helps everybody out. But for now, thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you all again a bit later.